Imagine standing in front of someone who has known you for years, but instead of trusting you, they look at you with suspicion, because she's already poisoned their mind. She doesn't just want your life, she wants your identity, your place, your trust, your world. And slowly you feel yourself slipping into the shadows while she steps into the light, as if she's always belonged there. But here's the question that keeps you awake at night. How does she know so much about you? How does she copy not only your words but your memories? How does she know the secret things you never told anyone? The answer will terrify you. Sweetheart, you need to know how she learned to move like you. It wasn't magic. It was quiet work, patient and careful, the kind of work people only notice when it's too late. She gathered pieces of you like someone building a puzzle from scraps. First, she watched, not just online in real life. She followed your routine, memorized the shops you visit, the cafe where you read, the bus you take when it rains. Small things that seem unimportant become maps when someone studies them. That map let her be where you would be, when you would be. Listen to this. She used the people around you. A friendly messenger, a chatty neighbor, the barista who writes names on cups. She spoke to them like a small storm. A compliment here, a shared secret there. And the people who loved you began to trust her little by little. Trust is easy to borrow when it looks like kindness. Then she learned your voice, not by guessing, but by collecting recordings, a voicemail, a video clip, a message left in a group chat. She listened and practiced until the tone, the laugh, the tiny pause between your words sounded right. When she finally spoke to someone who knew you, they felt the old comfort and never doubted her, and she stole papers, bills, notes, a folded letter tucked in a book. She found these and read them as if they were maps to your heart. From those scraps she learned birthdays, small fears, pet names, the things you never posted. Those private bits became tools she used to prove she was you. Here's the next twist. She used photos. Not just pictures where you smiled, but old shots that showed private places. The corner of your room, the mug you use, the scar on your hand. She put those images in the right places and told small lies that fit them. When people saw them, they believed she had always been part of your life. And there was another layer. Fake messages. She wrote to your friends as if she were you, sending short notes that sounded real because they used the same words you use. Each message nudged people to accept her version of what happened. Over time, the story she told became the new truth people remembered. Pay attention to this. She didn't only pretend online. She showed up in person too. A public event, a class, a shop visit. She put herself where you might later go, and left small signs that she had been there. A receipt left on a table, a chair pushed in, a scarf draped over a bench. Tiny marks that say I was here. Those marks built her alibi. Now the dangerous part. She learned to copy your mannerisms. The way you tuck hair behind your ear, the little tilt of your head when you laugh, the exact way you say a favorite word. People notice gestures more than words. When she matched them, she matched your soul in the eyes of others. And then there's the deep trick. She used lies that felt true. She told stories about shared moments that never happened. A childhood memory, a late night talk, a joke only you two would share. Because those stories used the small facts she had already taken. They sounded real. People filled the empty spaces with their own belief, and belief is hard to undo. She set traps to catch your reactions. A mutual friend would mention a made-up event. Then she would call you later, soothing and kind, acting like someone who had stood by during that event. When you tried to correct them, the friend looked confused because for them, the scene had already been told in full by someone they trusted. She even used legal tricks, papers signed in a clerk's office, a quiet form filled in with slightly wrong details, a change of contact that moved the line of history a little to the left. One small form can shift how a record reads. And once the paper says something, many people bow to the paper. She knew that. And listen, Sometimes she made people doubt you on purpose. A message sent at the wrong hour, a missed call, a look in your partner's eye when they mention a secret you never told. She plants seeds of doubt and waits for them to grow. When doubt arrives, your friends and partners look for proof, and she is ready with rehearsed truth. She learned how to make you seem unstable. A doctored photo, a clipped voice note, edited to sound like anger, a short video made to suggest you said things you did not. When a person sees and feels the fake proof, they trust their sight more than your words. That's how she steals, not just your life, but your credibility. And there's one method most people miss. She used kindness to hide control. A gift here, a listening ear there, sympathy when you feel low. People who give comfort are remembered as helpers. She used that memory to cover the lies underneath. If you accuse her, others will say, but she was kind. Kindness becomes a shield. Think about what that means. The woman pretending to be you becomes a version of you that the world likes. She becomes the safe, polite, generous one that people want in their lives. Meanwhile, the real you looks like someone who must explain herself again and again. That imbalance makes her story stronger than yours. One night, you find a small box on your doorstep. Inside is a single item, something only you and one close friend once shared. The tag reads, "For when the truth is ready." Your hands tremble because the box proves she has already touched parts of your past no one else could reach. And that means she's not just pretending. She's been stepping into your life for months, learning where to cut and where to stitch. So now the question stands in the air like a dark bird. How far will she go next? Will she keep taking pieces until you are only a shadow of the person you were? Or will you find a way to pull the mask off and show everyone the woman behind it? Sweetheart, the first real crack showed itself when you tried to do something ordinary. A simple login to your account, and the password didn't work. You reset it, but the system told you the number was already changed. Someone had claimed it before you. That was the moment you felt your own life slip through your fingers. When you tried to prove it was you, the system asked questions only she could answer. Your first pet's name, your old address, even the color of the bike you had as a child. Details you barely remembered. Yet somehow she had them ready. How? Because she had been quietly pulling pieces of your history and tucking them away until this very moment. Now think about what that means. When you reach out for help, you look like the one who's lying. You're the stranger, she's the real one. And that flips the story in a way that leaves you gasping. But the deeper fear is this. If she has control of your accounts, she has control of your voice. She can speak as you, and no one will question it. Then came the letter. Not an email, not a message on a phone, but an actual letter sealed in an envelope. The handwriting looked eerily like yours. Only sharper, more careful, as if someone had practiced every stroke until it was exact. The words inside were simple. I'm leaving for a while. Don't worry about me. It was dated, signed, and even smelled faintly of your perfume. Churtled, she wasn't just stealing your identity. She was building proof that you had willingly stepped away. A close friend saw the letter first. They called you not to ask, but to comfort you for what they thought was your choice. And when you said you hadn't written it, their silence cut deep. That pause was more painful than words, because in that silence, you could hear their doubt. It didn't stop there. Days later, packages arrived in your name, delivered to places you had never been. Clothes you never ordered, items you never bought, receipts with your name signed at the bottom. It wasn't random. She was creating a trail, a second life that looked legitimate. So if anyone checked, they'd see your signature tied to a world you didn't build. And then came the most chilling moment. You walked into a cafe, your cafe, the one you've loved for years, and the barista smiled warmly and said, "Welcome back. Same order as always," but you hadn't been there in weeks. She had been there, standing in your spot, sipping from your mug, chatting with your smile. They thought she was you. That's when it hit you. She wasn't just copying you online. She was walking in your footsteps, taking your seat, laughing your laugh in the places that mattered most. She was weaving herself into the fabric of your daily life, until the thread of who you are was nearly invisible. You tried to warn someone official, a call to the authorities, a quiet visit to an office. But when they looked at the records, the evidence matched her, not you. Bank statements, messages, visits logged with your name and face. On paper, she was real and you were the imposter. That left you standing in a cruel corner. If you fight too hard, you look desperate. If you stay quiet, she takes more. And every day she grows stronger, more convincing, more real, until finally you begin to wonder, is she only pretending to be you, or is she slowly rewriting the world so that you become the fake? Then, one night, the breaking point. There, a photo appeared online. A photo of her, but captioned with your name. The people around you commented with love, tagged your friends, shared it as if it were truly you. The likes climbed higher, the comments poured in, and in their eyes, she wasn't another woman anymore. She was you. At the bottom of that photo, one chilling comment stood out. Finally, she's back to her true self. Your heart froze because you didn't know who wrote it. Was it someone close to you, someone who had already chosen her over you, or was it her herself, using your account to whisper into the crowd? Either way, the message was clear. She wasn't just stealing your life anymore. She was rewriting your past. Sweetheart. The most dangerous shift began when she reached into your closest circle. Friends who swore they knew you better than anyone started pulling away, not because of something you did, but because of things she whispered while carrying your voice. A text message here, a late night call there, all written in your tone, sprinkled with details only you would know. Slowly, the people you trusted most stopped looking at you the same. One friend admitted it quietly. They said, "You've changed. You're not like you used to be." And in that moment you realized the trap. It wasn't enough for her to be you. She wanted to destroy the you inside their minds, so that when they saw your face, they'd already believe she was more real than you. It got worse with family. A sudden phone call to a relative, where she spoke with warmth, laughed at private memories, and promised visits. They hung up with their heart full, convinced it was you. So when you showed up days later, their smile faded into confusion. "Didn't we just talk?" they asked, and no matter how you explained, the doubt was already rooted. She didn't stop at words. She showed up in person, wearing your style, carrying your gestures, even mirroring your small habits. The tilt of your head, the way you tap your fingers when you're nervous, the way your laugh trails off in a whisper. She wasn't just copying your life. She was studying you like a script until she became flawless in the role. The most painful part, people didn't notice the difference. They didn't question it, didn't stop to wonder. They welcomed her, hugged her, trusted her as if you had been there all along. And when you tried to correct them, when you insisted, "That's not me," the room fell quiet, because in their eyes it was, now here's where the danger sharpens. She started creating conflict under your name. A sharp message to one person, a cold reply to another, small cuts that piled into wounds. So when you finally reached out in truth, they pulled back. They thought you were the one who had hurt them. She didn't just take your life, she weaponized it against you. But the most chilling moment was yet to come. You received a message, not on your phone, but slipped under your door, handwritten in a style that looked exactly like yours. It read, "Stop fighting me. People like me better anyway." That wasn't just a threat. It was a declaration. She wasn't hiding anymore. She was telling you that the war was already being won. The next day, someone very close to you confronted you with trembling hands. They showed you a message that you had sent them. It was cruel, cutting, almost unforgivable. And even though you denied it, their eyes held doubt. Because denial sounds weak when proof sits glowing on their screen. Proof she planted, The spiral deepened. She wasn't only chasing your present, she was rewriting your past. Photos were replaced online, stories shifted, memories twisted. She posted old pictures of places you had